Right, I'm Sean, that's Katie. That's Katie, I'm Sean. Right, so I saw this the other day and immediately paused it. I haven't seen what the ranking is. Mm-hmm. But this is by Film My 10 2155. And it's a YouTube video where they rank every villain in the Conjuring universe. And it's just recently, because this week, that I've really gotten back into the Conjuring universe.
The fact that you can just sit down and just watch those movies.
I love them. Especially
crazy.
The first and second Conjuring films. I love them. Absolutely love them. So we thought we'd react and then we'll discuss whether or not this person is correct. And then we'll do our own rankings. Personally, I think there is only one that is number one, without question. But I can understand how there might be another one that people will put as number one. But we'll see. Let's watch. Anyway, hold on, I forget that. Who do you think this video is going to have placed at number one?
I mean, it's got to be The Nun.
My number one would easily be The Nun.
My initial was The Nun, and then
Annabelle.
Second, Annabelle, yeah, but then maybe the old man from the second one, because he was really creepy.
He was really creepy.
They did really well with that. But I can't
think of...
Maybe the witch?
The witch was scary.
Yeah, but you didn't really see much.
There's a bit in the witch that was scary. The first film, the bit that really scared me was there's a bit where she's got the blanket over her head and there's like a scrape comes down and you can see her yellow eye, and then they take the blanket off her and she just sort of sits up and she's giggling while they're all panicking, and then the bloke goes, he says, "Get out of her, leave my wife alone," and she just goes,
I don't like it when you do that stuff, because you have the same kind of style that they do.
She's already gone. It's like, ugh.
I thought you were gonna, the bit. Do you know the bit that scared me the most out of that was when she chases Lorraine when she gets stuck in the basement.
You're
Not
right.
necessarily because you really see her, but because she's chasing her.
Yeah.
I hate chases and evil things.
The bit where you see the feet hanging. Yeah.
Because that's just like it's the
It
whole
just slowly
thing.
turns.
Yeah. Because the last grabs are and you're like, oh. And then...
So unless I'm mistaken, right? Try and go through all the villains. So there's going to be the witch, the old man, the nun,
Annabelle.
technically, the crooked man.
Yeah.
That's another one. Annabelle. Then there's La Llorona. Mr. Film. So I've got Mr. Film.
The one from the third one. I don't know whether that would be the last that's doing there, or the actual.
Oh, the witch.
One.
The witch. Yeah, the witch.
That or the witch, yeah.
Yeah. Like the
last.
The crone or something she's called officially, which is nice because she seems like quite a nice lady as well.
Probably is. Who else is there?
I think that's it. I think there's only 8.
How was the 10?
10.
Did you not say it was 10?
I don't think so.
I thought you said it was.
It says Film My 10. I tell you what, let's watch it and then we'll do our rankings. Okay, play now. Oh my.
It's the eyes. Ugh.
Yeah, La Llorona. So yeah, I said there was 8.
I've seen that one.
Crooked Man. The Ferryman.
Oh, I didn't like the old one. Like,
The Occultist. The Witch. Annabelle 1. Yeah.
Ooh.
That is fair enough. What's the Ferryman from? That's
Is the
weird.
ferryman not from the third one? Is he?
No.
Who's this? Who's?
I will admit the only film that I haven't seen is the third Annabelle film. So unless he's in that, I can't. He's definitely not in the first, as far as I know, he's not in the first 2 Conjuring films. Don't think he's in the third one.
But is he not? Because the occultist when she dies, it's like the thing that's getting her, isn't it? Is it not that?
When she's dying, she sees herself. And then when she's dying, her whole body sort of cracks backwards, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Say, I knew it would either be the Nun or Annabelle first, because it's always. I've never found Annabelle that scary. Believe it or not.
No.
It's the thing about Annabelle is, and as far as I can tell in the film, Annabelle isn't the bad guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, Annabelle isn't the bad guy in the film.
The doll, the physical doll.
The actual doll isn't the bad
It's
thing.
the thing that's possessing. Yeah.
Yeah. Because then the thing that possesses the doll
That's
ultimately
just
possesses the little girl, and then the little girl
Mm-hmm.
essentially does it again to try and get rid of the family's daughter.
But then you could say that the old man isn't really one because the nun uses the old man.
I wouldn't call him a major villain either.
I mean, he was though. Even though they didn't know it, he was the villain.
Like, the Crooked Man isn't really a major villain either. I know I said that. I said he was one of the villains, but he's not really a major villain.
He's kind of but until the time we find out it's the nun, they are the villains.
Yeah, I suppose. Like,
I forgot how scary I found the old man.
I tell you
because
what,
it was like.
we could just go through it again. Can I turn the audio off? Right, so
I haven't seen that one.
La Llorona, she is not going to be in anymore, as far as I know. She isn't that scary. Without spoiling it, well, I'll spoil it because you don't need to see it. Basically, she killed her sons, drowned her sons, then got cursed, and basically she would haunt families trying to kill their children.
Haunt families trying to kill their children.
Yep.
So why do we dislike this one?
I don't dislike her. I just think 8 is definitely where La Llorona should. You know you're dribbling on yourself.
It's the condensation.
It's just 8. I would definitely agree with for her. I've never found it. I didn't find it that scary. There's a few moments where she kind of like. She does do. There's a bit where you would find very, very distressing, right? Where there's a young girl and she's in the bath, and normally the routine is for her mum to come in and she would wash her hair for her and then rinse it, so she would go back and then come back up. But then you just see these hands go on her head and they're like massaging her head, and that's it. She's just sitting there, and you could see these horrible minging hands massaging her head, and then she goes, "Oh, dip," and then her head goes under, and then she holds her there. You're never more vulnerable than you are in a bath. Unless you're on the toilet. Bit creepy. But yeah, that's where I would put that on, and that's a good one.
Why did you tell me that?
7. Who was 7? The Crooked Man?
No, I never really found the Crooked Man scary. Maybe the bit where they're in the friend's house and it's like the Crooked Man's walking across, you see the shadow.
Yeah.
And then it's like the girl appears, but that wasn't really scary, that was more like...
It's also sad because he came out with the dog. Never let you know what happened to that dog.
I know,
I hope it was alright. Pray for the dog.
It's always animals. I hate it when it's animals. Animals, old people, or children is the worst thing.
So anyone as long as they're not like average age.
From like the ages of like 14 up to like
60.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I care about you people as long as you're good people, but I prefer the people outside of those brackets.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. 6 was the ferryman. What is the ferryman from? Alright, hold on. I'm gonna have to Google this because I don't. The ferryman. Conjuring. Oh, balls. Conjuring. Conjuring universe, maybe. I don't think he might not be in it. Minor and okay, so he is. He's from the 3rd Annabelle film, which I haven't seen.
Annabelle Comes Home.
Oh, okay, I'll not read much more because I'll have to watch that. Okay, so I suppose 6, fair enough. 5, who's 5? It's the old man, isn't it? That's a weird one. The old man was creepy, wasn't he? Oh, get over yourself.
I don't like it though.
What was the scariest bit about the old man? If you had to pick the scariest scene.
Oh, the whole scene of him walking up the stairs whistling.
Mm.
And then he pulls her out of the roof and he's kind of...
He's got her in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, ah.
Do you know the bit that creeped me out? And it's the reason I don't like sharing rooms with people, right? Is the bit where the 2 lasses go to sleep, and then you just hear the the other lass, I can't remember her name, she sits in and goes, "This is my house," in her voice. Like, it's the lass talking, but she's speaking like him. And then she's having the conversation, and then she makes her, the older one makes her lie back down, think everything's okay, she stopped a little sleep talking, and then she's standing next to her and screams at her again, and I was like, "Ah." That's why I don't like people sleeping in the same room as me.
Yeah, I'm trying not to look at that. Yeah, that was...
Look at it.
Oh, look hard.
Yeah. The occultist. I would put her below the old man, actually. I didn't think she was that scary.
I didn't really find her scary, but to be honest, the third film I found the least scariest out of the 3 films. I think more because it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
But it wasn't necessarily about the actual haunting, was it? It was more about...
No, like the investigation,
the investigation into it, yeah.
And yeah, it felt a little more like... I don't know, this is weird saying it, but hear me out. It felt harder to believe, in a way, even though the whole thing is very like, do you believe it, do you not?
Yeah. Because it's witchcraft and
that one in particular, it was like, yeah, because it's like witchcraft and it's like...
Yeah. No, I agree.
You know, even though the first one does touch on it, it's not like...
Yeah. But
I would say... It's more about the actual haunting as opposed to that.
I would say the reason the first one is more believable than this one is because the first one kind of goes, okay, so she was a believed witch back in the Salem trials, which is like, okay, they believed every woman was a witch back then. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did a horrible thing. She tried to, she convinced certain members of our workforce to kill her child. But it's the ghost of that woman that's essentially haunting them. Mm-hmm. Not an actual witch conducting actual witch magic on people.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like... I mean, I enjoyed the bit where Lorraine figured out that it was a two-way thing. When she was looking through her eyes, she realised that she was actually also looking through her own eyes. Yeah. I like that bit because that was new, but
even the bit with Lorraine though, because for me, like in the first 2, and again, it's kind of, do you believe it, do you not? Lorraine, she wasn't like, she had like visions and she could see stuff, but she wasn't like the whole bit in the third one where she was like emulating the murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was a bit like, well, what's going on?
Well, she does do that in the second one.
Well, I know, but I don't know. It was something about Lorraine in that one just seemed a little harder to like.
I feel like
grasp.
it made Lorraine a bit more superhero-y.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
bit, yeah.
She was sort of like her gift to see. I say gift if you believe such things. Like, to see visions. It was always kind of minor, and it was open to interpretation. Like that, like she sees Ed's death, and that doesn't come true. But then with this one, she was seeing into the past. She was looking through her eyes. She was looking through other people's eyes. Then she was talking to Ed. She was looking through Ed's eyes, and it was kind of like, well,
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. It just because I mean, in the first 2, like it.
She also does that thing where she picks the murder weapon or something, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in the first 2 though, she would have like the vision, and then it would kind of be like, okay. Then they go off and they try and find it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whereas in this, it was kind of just like.
It was a bit superhero-y, wasn't it?
Yeah, a bit.
Maybe dial that down a touch. 3. Who's 3? The witch.
Yeah. The bit where she's on top of the
that's really
the
weird, isn't
wardrobe.
it? Yeah. I tell you, one of the bits that got me the first time I watched the first Conjuring film is the bit where Lorraine is doing the laundry. She's taking the laundry down, and the thing sort of stops.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's around a person, and then it sort of flies off. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I swear to God, every time I walk past something slightly high, which, yes, is most things, before you say it, I, like, look up and I'm like, oh, like, do you like the fridge? I'm like, I'll be doing something and then I'll turn around and I'll be like, is anyone up there?
Yeah, now you know why I don't like going into the loft. Alright. 3, 2, so The Nun. For me, The Nun is no number 1. There's a reason she's in tons of films. She's mentioned in other films that she's not in.
Yeah.
I think she is undoubtedly the number 1. I could sort of understand people with Annabelle, but to me, there's no image quite as striking as that, is there?
No.
I can't even think of old horror films, like the scariest ones, where there's an image of the bad guy that is as striking as The Nun.
Yeah.
I think she might be, and this might be controversial, the scariest villain that's ever been made.
Is that because you find the concept scary, or is it because you just don't like nuns?
It's not that I don't like. Well, I don't like nuns now because of this.
Are you scared of nuns?
I wasn't scared of nuns before her, but I am now. I don't trust a nun anymore. Right? But I think, do you know what it is? It's subtle, scary. I don't like films that are just jump scare central. Just the idea that she could. All you would have to do with her is have her standing in the shadow and looking at you, and that's enough. That would be enough to make me go.
It's actually creepy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like creepy, scary. There are jump scares, but yeah.
But the jump scares feel more impressive because of the creepiness.
It adds to it.
That comes from it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's nothing more frustrating than watching a horror film and, they're looking off and it's right there and you're like, oh my god, is there? Like, you feel like you're at a pantomime, you're like, it's behind you.
Yeah.
And they're just not seeing it, and it's like, and then...
I think that's where The Nun went, like the film The Nun, went slightly wrong with her, in that she's not in it a lot, which is a good thing. Like, this actual nun isn't in it a lot. But then when she is in it, she's strangling the lass, and she's kind of like, smiling over her when she's strangling her, and it's a bit like, it's not that great,
Yeah.
It's like, and I like the whole blood of Christ thing. That's the thing that eventually stops her. But even with the second Conjuring film, who does she actually attack? She doesn't attack anyone.
Not herself. She kind of uses the old man.
She uses the old man, then she uses the girl, and it's sort of like, if someone's gonna die, it'll be because of her, but she's not done anything. Literally, all she does is just stand there.
And just watches it happen.
Yeah. Which is why I think the two scariest scenes with the nun in are the one that you said, where she's at the end of the hall, and the one where it's the painting.
Picture.
Yeah. I think that was massive. I think it's James Wan who did the second one. Masterful creation of it. I think one of the scariest characters that's ever been made. And number 1 is Annabelle.
It's weird. I never really was that scared of Annabelle, like the doll.
No.
You know what I mean? Like the film had scary moments, yeah, definitely. And I'm obviously a wuss, so I found loads of things scary. But I don't know, like looking, like I can look at that doll. You know what I mean? But like
you can't look at.
I can't look at the nun. I can, kind of can't. It
you
depends.
Can't look at the old man.
I can't look at the old man. Yeah. Like for me, like that's just like, it's like, for me, I know it's really scary if I can't even look at it without me being creeped out by it.
Again, it's sort of like the thing that's actually possessed Annabelle isn't that scary. It's a giant devil-looking thing. It's not that scary. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's almost Annabelle is just kind of put in to get the occasional, like you're saying, where you kind of go, oh, I can't even look at it. It's kind of is that it?
I think it is meant to be kind of like jump scary, maybe, where it's kind of like something's happening and then they turn around, then Annabelle's there and they're like, how did she get there?
Well, that's not jump scary.
I know, but it's kind of like, it's meant to be like creepy, yeah. Sorry.
Well, there's a difference between creepy and jump scary.
Sorry.
A jump scare is when you jump.
I know, but you could be like a kind of jump if you turn around and she's just there.
Not from a doll.
But I feel like they did better with the nun.
Yeah. Because
like they would be doing something, then they'd turn around and she's just there in the hallway or something.
As far as I can remember from the first 2 Annabelle films, because I haven't seen the third one, there's only a handful of moments that scare me. Well, that scared me. The first one, everything after the opening 2 scenes didn't scare me. So the bit where the neighbours get broken into, that bit was quite scary. And then the bit where...
In the first one?
In the first Annabelle film.
Oh, right, okay.
And then the bit where they get the houses broken into as well. That bit was scary because there's a bit where you see her just walk past, and it's like the Scream. It's like I've said the Scream. Standing there on the phone, and you just see someone walk past, and it's kind of like, oh. You sit there and you go, oh, someone's in the house. You don't even know they're in the house.
I know, that is scary.
And then there's a bit in that as well where she goes, you just hear her whisper, you hear her go, I like your dolls. That bit was creepy. The second one, to its credit, did have a bit more scariness in it. But I'm struggling to remember.
Do you not feel like that was because it was I feel like it was because of the child.
The people around them, yeah, more than the...
For me, because that's why I always say old people, children, and animals. And I'm being genuine when I say it, because they're like things that you want to protect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like children, obviously, they can't protect themselves. Old people, they might not be physically capable to, protect themselves. Animals are kind of innocent. But obviously in that one, she's not only a child, but she's also got this, she's got, what was it, polio?
Yeah. She doesn't have it by the end of it, though.
Yeah, but... and so she's kind of like trying to get away, and obviously she can't, and it's like there's that as well. So I feel like that, for me, like in a horror movie, makes it worse.
I can't remember what bit that scared us with that one. There was definitely a bit that scared us. I can't remember what it was. It mustn't have been that memorable. But yeah, I think that's almost spot on, except I would have the occultist below the old man.
I would have the nun
first,
then the old man, then the witch.
Yeah. So tell you what, let's do quick runs of. Basically, we both have to put Ferryman at 8 because we haven't seen the film. Yeah. So for me, it would be the nun first, easily. Secondly, it would be the.
For me, it'd be the old man.
Yeah, the old man. Yeah. Third would be the witch. The witch from the first Conjuring film, that is. Yep. Fifth would probably be the occultist.
Fifth.
Yep. The nun, old man, witch.
Old man, witch. And then you said fifth.
No, fourth would be the occultist. Is that what I said?
Okay. The occultist.
Then fifth would be the crooked man. Sixth would be La Llorona. No, sixth would be Annabelle. Seventh would be La Llorona. Eighth would be the Ferryman.
I love how you said it was spot on.
I
love how you said the list was spot on.
I know. I basically rearranged the whole thing, didn't I?
We just changed it. Yeah. That's just personal preference.
I appreciate everyone's got their own opinions and stuff, but if your opinion is that Annabelle is scarier than the nun, then you are probably crazy.
I think, though, it's like what people find scary, because I think the idea of inanimate objects being like possessed is scary to some people, because you might just go to the shop and
pick up a packet of jammy Dodgers.
Yeah. Possessed jammy Dodgers. But you know what I mean, though, so it's like,
I have to say, I will never ever get any of my children dolls like this.
Yeah, but the actual doll didn't look like that, though.
I know.
It looks different, doesn't it? But you can buy haunted stuff off the internet.
I know.
Like, what crazy people would do such a thing?
I'm one of those people that say I don't believe in it, but I also don't. I don't want to annoy it either. So I'm Ouija boards and possessed. I nowhere near me. I don't even like going into haunted houses.
If I ever have children in the future, if I ever catch them using a Ouija board, they are getting straight slapped across the face. Sorry, but it's true.
I was just gonna say put them outside for an hour.
No, because then I'm still in the house in the place that they've been using the Ouija board. It's your stupid children.
Yeah. But that was us ranking the not every major villain, because I would argue that most of them aren't major villains. Like the Crooked Man's not a major villain.
Well, he's in a bit. He kind of goes after Ed.
He's in two. He's only in 2 scenes.
3.
What 3?
Is it 3?
2.
I thought it was 3.
He's in the neighbour's house, and then he's underneath the tent when Ed goes in it.
Oh. No, I'm thinking no, because the little boy just mentions the Crooked Man, doesn't he?
Yeah, they do the little rhyme, don't they? Well, that's as far as I can remember. That's just off the top of my head. But yeah, him. The Ferryman, as far as I can tell, isn't. La Llorona is. She's not her own film, but you know, who else was there? Doesn't matter. Anyway, that was us reacting to other people's ranking. Let us know what you think, what your ranking is if you're a horror film fan. What's your favourite Conjuring verse?
Film.
Yeah, film. The Conjuring verse.
Conjuring universe.
Oh, it needs to have a snazzy name. Anyway, the Conjuring verse film. I'm not going to be able to stop saying that now. It's the Conjuring universe. The Conjuring universe film. What's your favourite? And then rank all the bad guys. Then like the video, subscribe, ding the bell to notified when we upload. Try to upload every day. Anything else you want to say?
We haven't actually watched a horror movie, but I'm creeped out because I'm remembering the scenes that creeped me out from the movies.
They're great films. It's gonna be a sad day when.
Like the bit in the second one where she's trying to fix the TV. That really got me. That when I first watched it, I remember actually screaming and jumping so high, probably the highest I've ever jumped.
Was that when you watched it with me, Mum, and Nicole?
At Nicole's house.
Yeah.
That was scary as well because that was when Nicole had the couch off the wall. It was the corner couch and it was off the wall, so the kitchen was the way the kitchen was open and behind us. So it's anything could come.
They must have had two different people playing that role because when he's the bad version of himself, he's actually really scared. But then when you see him when he's trying to help them, he's actually quite sweet.
Maybe he's just a brilliant actor. He probably is.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's annoying because he made me like him and feel sorry for him. But
he
he
also
also
scared
scared the living
Jesus
Jesus
out
out of us.
Oh yeah. Thank you for watching.
Even the bit where Joe Ray bites the man. And he's in the water.
This is the bit where he's sort of walking up behind Ed Warren, isn't it?
Yeah. And then she's like, "Oh my God, he's behind you!" And then she looks down, and he's there.
He looks over. He's not there. He's like, "Who is?" I would just be like, "Tell you what, I'm just gonna back out." I wouldn't even bother looking anywhere.
I'd be like, "Where is it?" I'd probably have a heart attack and die.
Imagine what kind of infection you would have off that. Not only is it minging water.
Ghost slather.
Do you know what? Believe it or not, they did actually do a film where possession was sort of an infection that could be transmitted. And I tell you what, it was not very good. Yeah. But thank you for watching.
I need to know.